Good day, creative geniuses. Welcome. Welcome to my Wednesday Wisdom Window. I'm Suzanne Grace, CEO of Grace Inspire Sanctuary, where we come together once a week to have a new thought about this thing called life. Yeah. To have some meditation time, breath, yogic breath, inspiring reading, meditation, affirmation. Oh yeah. Just to bring us back home. Back home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. In the yogic tradition, we say there's no place like Om. Om. I want to share an article with you today about a lily, the plant, the flower, and blooming, and then we'll do our breath practice together. So thanks for being here. Let me know. And also remember, you can pass this on to a friend who might benefit from it. So this story is from Swati Singh. She says, exhausted, I dropped onto the bed by the window. The day's weight pressing heavily on me, the cushion felt a bit misplaced, or maybe it was my tensed up body. I looked at my lily plant on the windowsill. It looked pale, tired, famished. The plant was not even looking at me as if drained of energies. Maybe it mirrored me. I got this lily from my grandmother's garden a few months ago with the thought of bringing a slice of heaven to my city house. It's magic, my grandmother whispered with a playful grin, but only if you give it what it needs. She knew I never stopped believing in fairy tales and that blooming flowers are a balm for my restless mind. So I watered the plant regularly, ensured it got enough warmth from the sun, and added fertilizer to the soil. But weeks turned into months, and the lily refused to bloom. Some days I asked her why she wasn't blooming. Was she mirroring my own version of a closed bud? My own creative work sat untouched, gathering dust, while I moved through life on autopilot. Anybody? I don't have enough time. I have writer's block, chaotic mind, exhausted. My excuses were endless. Maybe I was missing something essential, just like the lily was. After a bit of research, I realized I'd been feeding the lily the wrong proportion of fertilizers. I've done that. I gave her a heavier dose of nitrogen, while what she needed was the right balance of phosphorus and potassium. While nitrogen is good, overfeeding, it caused the non-bloom phase. I thought about this life that I live as a metaphor for a long time. How often do we in life pour energy into the wrong things, and then when things do not go as we imagined, we spiral into an endless loop of self-doubts? There's no one single solution to this, she says. Of course, mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process. The journey of trial and error with all its ups and downs is an essential part of our growth. And though we may feel frustrated at times, our perspective shifts when we start identifying patterns, recognizing lessons, and giving our wholehearted effort to reach the place we wish to go. We can't force growth, she says. We can create the right conditions for it, though. Hear that? We can't force growth, but we can create the right conditions. We can enrich the soil of our lives with nutrients of love, purpose, connection with our inner self. We can ask ourselves, what am I missing? What do I need to add to my life? Wisdom, care, rest, balance. Once we find our answer and pour our energy into the right places, we must let go, trust the rhythm, and allow the journey to unfold. In the end, a flower's bloom is not just the result of nutrients or sunlight. It also signifies the unwavering faith that some of the most beautiful outcomes in life are worth waiting for. Imagine a world where we nourish our future like we care for a flowering plant. Identify what's depleted and enriching the soil and tending it with patience. What would our lives look like if we stopped chasing quick fixes and started nurturing lasting growth? Finally, she said, I had to step beyond myself for that lily to bloom. I had to learn and adapt and provide care in just the right ways. And isn't that the essence of growth? To recognize that life isn't just what we take from it, but also what we give to it. I think we've all had experiences of plants, either indoor or outdoor, that didn't bloom as we thought they would, or that I have a friend who says, oh, I kill everything that comes into my house. It doesn't survive. I thought, well, ooh, I wouldn't say that. But we also have to look at ourselves. How are we nurturing our own self? Physically? Are we feeding ourselves the right nutrients? Are we overindulging in too much of something that isn't serving us physically? Are we nurturing our mental mind, our body, our mental body? Or are we feeding it with fear thoughts 24/7? How's that working? And our emotional body? Are we taking care of ourselves? Meditating, having silence, quiet time, being in nature, getting off the phone, getting off our devices. Really, that's how we bloom, is we pay attention to our own self-care, I believe. So let's take that into a breath practice. How about that? Which is a very nurturing thing for our body, mind, and spirit. Yay! So I invite you to feel your feet on Mother Earth. Let's just take a moment and tap lightly our thymus, our heart chakra. Imagine that heart center, the divine heart center right there in the center of your chest. Our heart chakra is considered the midway point between Mother Earth and Father Sky. It's a place of faith, harmony, forgiveness, love, devotion. Just breathe into that heart space as we wake it up. And then lightly take a fingertips to your third eye center, the wisdom eye, the sixth chakra, ajna. Open to your intuitive guidance, trusting. And then crown chakra, top of the head, opening to infinite potential, an expansive sense of a bigger picture for this thing called life. And then release your hands onto your lap. And as we close our eyes, we drop to that heart center and just rest there for a moment. And notice the circle of your breath, in, out. deep, slow. As we feel our feet connected to Mother Earth, we feel the extension of our spinal column, the Sushumna channel, lengthening to allow that flow of energy up and down the Sushumna channel. And we'll take our 3 yogic breaths starting in the belly. We're going to, in a moment, expand the belly and the diaphragm, and we're going to bring the breath all the way through the heart chakra, through the throat chakra, up into the third eye. So we'll do that 3 times, and on the exhale, you'll do the straw breath out, blowing out through the mouth like you're blowing out a straw. So let's begin. In breath, from the belly, expand through the diaphragm, heart. Keep that breath up, coming all the way up into the third eye, middle of the brain. Hold the breath there like a light. And slowly exhale it out through the mouth. And again, in breath, expansion. All the way up to the middle of the brain, pineal gland. Smile and slowly exhale. And one more conscious breath in from the belly, all the way up to the third eye. And exhale. And savor the stillness for a moment. And in this space, ask your inner being, what do I need to add to my life to truly bloom? What do I need to add to my life to truly bloom? And we listen. And we can ask ourselves, what do I need to release from my life that maybe no longer serves my blooming? And we listen, and we notice what shows up, being gentle with ourselves. And we take a breath knowing that we can adapt and provide care for ourselves in just the right way, that we will be guided if we open to that possibility. So today we're planting a seed of self-care, so that we may bloom, no matter what's going on the outside. That we have our roots in a greater good. So our affirmation today is, I am willing to adapt and provide care for myself in just the right ways. I am willing to adapt and provide care in just the right ways. And know that we all bloom when it's our time. So patience, faith, doing our practices of mindfulness, meditation, whatever it is you do, being in nature, come back home because there's no place like home. Home being that center within you, the heart center. So take a deeper cleansing breath. As we open our eyes. Whew, I needed to hear that today. How about you? You know, we're all doing the best we can in this life. And it's always good to stop and reflect, like, am I doing too much of this and not enough of this? I remember at the beginning of the year, I had a phrase that has last year that stayed with me for a long time, and it said, pray and play more often. Pray and play. So I have the two, the sacred time and then the fun time. So we want to make sure that we balance. Balance is important. Balance our life. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, right? So that we can be a force for good. Thank you for being here today. And remember, you can pass this on. I will also post it on my YouTube page. Have a beautiful rest of this April day, and I will see you next Wednesday. Namaste.